Hello, I'm back here with you today, and I'm here to give you another story. A story about what it's like, my experience being raised in a single parent home by my mother without my father around. Now, I only met my dad a handful of times, maybe 7 or 8 times that I remember. And I'm just here to tell you my experiences with it, and hopefully somebody can find what I got to say informative, and at the very least entertaining. I do feel that people aren't used to hearing honesty and emotion on these platforms, and telling these stories. uh, don't feel that you can judge me, you know what I mean? Don't come at me like that, because I'm not worried about it, man. I'm really not. I'm just here to give people news they can use in their life. And anybody that knows me knows that that if I fear anything, it's coming off as normal. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do about these things. And if you're scared to say it out loud, just blink twice, man. Blink so I know that you're listening. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just subscribe, hit the like button so you don't miss out on anything, man. Let's put it out in the algorithm so everybody can hear. You know what I mean? Let's get it to the masses. But today I want to talk about what it's like to be raised by a woman. And I do believe that it has its benefits and maybe its downfalls. I feel like it probably made me a better husband being raised by a woman. But I feel like maybe it in some areas it hurt me as a father, you know what I mean? And I really didn't hold it against my dad until I had kids. That's the crazy thing. It is what it is, it was what it was when I was younger, you know what I mean? I have older brothers, much older brothers. My oldest brother is like 17 years older than I am, and I have 3 brothers, and it's like 17, 15, and 10 years older than me. So I had a male role model in my life. My brother's friends per se, some of them that I looked up to and I still look up to today, you know what I mean? Everybody's got them people in their lives, but like I said, I didn't really hold it against my dad until I had kids, especially when I had a son, because that's when I realized no matter how hard it was for him to stick around with my mom, he chose not to, no matter what, he bailed, you know what I mean? And when I had a son, that's when I realized that it's a father's duty to teach his son how to be a man, how to go to work every day, how to love his wife, how to raise his children, and that's where I had the biggest problem. Even that's where, like I said, I had my biggest problem, even when I had my first kid, like just interacting as a family, you know what I mean? Sitting around in the living room and not knowing how a husband and a wife or a mother and a father act moment to moment. You know what I mean? Watching TV, how they interact with each other, because that's I was never around that. My mom never had boyfriends around me, you know what I mean? Well, she never had boyfriends, period, around the house and stuff like that. Not even just around the house. She didn't date, bro. You know what I mean? Pause. Tim Hortons. And I don't know why she didn't date. She was a beautiful woman, and maybe it was just all the past experiences were bad, you know what I mean? Or not even bad, just not worth it, you know what I'm saying? Not worth putting her children through it, you know what I mean? Because I know my dad was a prick to her, you know what I mean? So, to get started, I have a biological brother that has the same dad as me, you know what I mean? He's like 7 years older than me. And I have a different last name than him because my dad was such a prick that my mom didn't want me to have his last name. And they got a divorce while she was pregnant with me. But even so, when it came to signing the birth certificate, my name, she didn't want me to have that name. So, knowing that, you know, you realize dude was a prick, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't a very nice guy to her anyway. And when I was about 12 years old, my mom sat me down and said, told me that my dad was in prison, you know, for bank robbery. And he did like 7 years. I think I was about 10, and he did like 7 years for robbing banks. And when he got out of prison, me not knowing him, like when she said he was in prison, it really didn't even matter to me because I'd only remember seeing him a handful of times in my life. So what's it matter, you know? If he can't come around or chooses not to come around, what's it matter? You know what I'm saying? So when he gets out of jail, I'm around 17 or so, and he wants to come around and try to reconnect, you know what I mean? And he showed up a few times, you know, but he showed up a few times, took me out to lunch. I remember like 3 times, you know. But later on, I found he stopped coming around, and later on, I found out that my oldest brother told him he didn't want him to come around, you know what I mean? Because he didn't deserve to come around. He was such a prick, and my brother knew the type of person that he was, that he would be a bad influence on me, you know? And it took a lot for my brother to tell me that, you know, years later, that he told him not to come around because he knows he's not a nice guy. The way he treated my mom, you know what I mean? He stabbed my mom with an ice pick. He'd beat her up and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't want me exposed to a person like that, even if he wasn't going to be around my mom, just around me by myself, me and him going out, influencing me, you know, and I appreciate that, you know what I mean? But like I said, when you have a son, you don't know. That is when I really held it against him, you know, when I had my son, knowing the responsibilities that I spoke on. And my mom, I was about 23, she calls me and says, hey, your dad called me today, he's in Kansas, you know, and he said he's passing away, you know, he's got brain cancer, you know what I mean? And so you should call him. That's what she tells me, right? And I said, I have nothing to say to him, you know what I mean? He wasn't there for me. She says, well, you'll regret it, you know? And she brings it up again, and about, I think, the 3rd time, she says, listen, you're not going to be able to feel right if you don't at least contact him, you know? You need to call him because you're not going to have another chance, you know what I mean? The time's going to pass. He's got like 2 months to live. So I called him, and he starts talking, and he never once showed any remorse or regret on the decisions he made as far as with me and my mom and my brothers. So he tells me, you know, how he grew up and like he's a gangster, you know what I mean? He was going that route with it, how he's a gangster, and I finally just cut him off, and I told him, I said, hey man, I said, you weren't worried if I had any ability to raise my family the way that a man's supposed to, so I have no love for you, dude. You did not do right by me, so when you close your eyes for the last time, don't think that me and you were okay, because we're not, you know. And he said he hated to hear me say that, you know what I mean, that I don't remember me and him hanging out when I was little, and he's speaking on when I'm like 2, 3, 4 years old, you know, when I was a cute little baby. You know what I mean? Him coming around and benefiting from the warmth in his heart from seeing a little baby, and you know. And I said, no, man, that ain't the way it is, dude. I don't remember all them. Them are your memories. Them aren't mine, you know. Don't think that I have these memories, because I don't. But I had, like I said, I have older brothers, and every time that something came up where it was like a father and son event at Boy Scouts or baseball or school or whatever, you know, one of them would take me, you know what I mean? So I didn't miss out on nothing like that. But the only place I do feel that I missed out was how a family interacts moment to moment, day to day, and it was a little awkward. And I feel like my mom, she was an amazing person. She's also passed away now, but she taught me how to treat a woman, you know, how to walk on the outside of the sidewalk towards the street, how to hold the door open, how to be a good man to a good woman, you know. And so I think that I benefited wholeheartedly from that, you know. Like when I was younger, man, my mom, I grew up in with not a lot of income coming into the home. And my mom, she always invited the neighbors over for Thanksgiving. We never did without, you know what I mean? She put on a bigger spread than my family does now, at my house for Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? She would invite the neighbors over. Christmas, we never did without, you know. And I commend her for that, because I don't know how she did it, man. I really don't. I mean, she must have saved all year. She went without so that we could have, you know what I mean? And I'm not just saying like little things either. I mean, I remember I would take a bath and she'd use the same bath water I did so that she could save on the water bill. You know what I'm saying? Now that's real, dude. That's that is using every resource you have, you know what I mean? But I just thought I'd make this video, and I don't want to make it too long, but I just want to thank everybody who watched it, and don't forget to subscribe, man. I'll be popping out new videos, and I'm sorry it took so long this time for this one, but I didn't just want to come on here and ramble on, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be edited. They're uncut. They're raw. They're real emotion. And at the very least, you know, I just want to entertain you. You know what I mean? And are you not entertained? Bye.